Alberta's red tape reduction minister says we'll be the first province in Canada to have legislation written with AI to define what an Alberta whiskey is, and those who make the drink in Alberta say they're in favor of tightening up the standards. Before we get to the technology, first, the whiskey.
So up until this point, all the whiskey that we're making is classified as Canadian whiskey.
Jeff Stewart owns Rig Hand Distillery in Nisku, one of the whiskey makers in Alberta, meeting with provincial leaders in Edmonton Wednesday morning to discuss official rules on what can be labeled as an Alberta whiskey.
And if you look at all the different rules for whiskey around the world, some of them are very stringent, and others are a little more lax, and the Canadian ones are kind of viewed as the most lax ones.
But the Alberta Whiskey Act will be the first Canadian law written with artificial intelligence, the minister reassuring Albertans there will be strict reviews of the AI draft by real humans.
AI is not going to get rid of the people involved in writing legislation. It's just going to change their role. It'll change their role from putting in periods and commas into being involved more in the inputs and more in the review. So I don't think that we'll ever get rid of the human input on it, at least not for a while yet.
Any use of any tool in the hands of good legislation writers is just going to accelerate the process, I think, in a positive way.
Those who study computing science agree, saying while Alberta may be the first government jurisdiction to use AI to write a bill, it won't be the last.
AI won't replace human legislators, but human legislators that don't use AI will be replaced. The carpenter that doesn't use a skill saw or a radial arm saw and instead chooses to use only an old handsaw is not going to cut it anymore, right?
Goebel pointing to apps that correct spelling and grammar as a way people are already using technology. Alberta's government is still engaging in feedback with provincial distillers on the Alberta Whiskey Act. But for Stewart, he doesn't mind that the law is made using AI, saying the end result could bolster the Alberta-made spirits around the country and the world, and could put the province's local distillers on par with famous bourbon and whiskey locales around the world.
Kentucky Whiskey and Bourbon Trail industry bring $9.2 billion to the Kentucky economy every year. So here we are sitting in Alberta with the best grain in the world, some of the best water in the world, and some of the most passionate and educated people in the world when it comes to making whiskey. And we have an opportunity to create the exact same thing.
Reporting from Edmonton, Darcy Robchan, City News.